Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Final Whistle. David Giacomino, Kevin Walsh here, and we're here to talk about a huge controversy over the weekend, and had to do with the Mets and the Dodgers series, and the big slide by Chase Utley breaking the leg of Ruben Tejada. So, what's your take on it?
It was crazy to see. As far as the takeout slides, you see them all the time. I've never seen a takeout slide like that though. In regard to the fact where it was just it was such a brutal collision. Even I'm not saying Utley got obviously with Tejada got the brunt of everything, but like even Utley got a knee to the face. So it was a real vicious slide, and obviously, you saw the outcome with Tejada's injury. It just created so much confusion overall in regards to, is he safe, is he out, is the slide illegal, should he be suspended? So I mean, it's amazing how a slide was the storyline for an entire game.
And that really changed the whole complexity of the game because with that slide, I'll say it was very late and very hard. I'm all for playing the game hard. I'm all for taking out the runner. Listen, my shirt says you play ball like a girl. You know,
Right.
like you have to play hard. Like, you have to play hard. I understand that, but this slide was, listen, it wasn't close to the bag. He didn't touch the base, and it was late, and it was like a tackle, and
Yeah.
it was very very rough, and it's sad to see Tejada break his leg.
What I am curious of, and obviously, I mean, it's not. I wonder if he didn't break his leg though. If it was just a vicious slide and they both got up and shook it off, what would the result and the feeling after be? I wonder that.
Yeah, but it really, like, the fact that he didn't move after was
Oh
made
no,
it,
I
made it
mean
even worse.
obviously. 'Cause-
I know that, but like he just sat there and he couldn't move.
Mhm.
And I guess nobody really knew his leg was broken at the time, but they said he said it was numb,
Right.
and he just couldn't move.
But one thing I have a very big problem with, and I don't think that this is right. The fact that, I mean, the way the system is, the fact that Chase Utley can basically just wink and go, I'm gonna appeal that.
Yeah,
And now his 2 game suspension in the play. In my honest opinion, this is how I think it should shake out. If they say the suspension is upheld, I believe he should be banned from the first round of the playoffs next year. But that's if they make
Yeah,
it. That's if Chase Utley's playing baseball next year.
now that you brought that up, that's the whole process is ridiculous because, all right, 2 games, he's a bench player. Okay, so what? 2 games.
Just
I
take
said,
it. He didn't even play
I
yesterday.
said you should have suspended him for the whole series just because he's a
I-
bench player and he's what is 2 games? You could just he could not have played anyway, you know, and he can exactly do that. You know, I'm not gonna play this game anyway. You know, Matt's is pitching. He's the lefty. I'm not gonna pitch it anyway. So,
You know what? The worst part of it is really the fact that there's nothing they can do, because obviously he's going to appeal it because he knows what the result is, and that's the fact that he continues to play. And I don't know when is the next time that they're going to be able to address this and bring him in for a hearing.
they said the appeal hearing is Monday, October 19th, which is ridiculous because they could be out by then.
So I mean, it guarantees he plays the rest of the series, and you don't know how much more baseball that's going to be for him. And if this thing drags out, listen, it's not going to be a Tom Brady dragged out process, but you know what? The odds Chase Utley sits a game for that slide, I feel, are slim. And even if he does, I don't think it's going to make any difference.
Yeah, and I just hate the whole process, appealing, all that. It's dumb. It really is. But MLB did come out and say, look, the slide was illegal. He didn't touch the base, and it was harsh. It was over aggressive, and it should have resulted in a double play. And that's a game changer. Then that ends the inning right there. The run doesn't score. The Mets go into the next inning 2-1. The series could be over right now.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, it's in every single aspect that's a tough pill to swallow for the Mets. They had a golden opportunity to not only beat Kershaw but to beat Greinke, something that I don't think anyone really would have predicted, for them to get the 2 victories on the road against those two. And it obviously changed the whole momentum and switched everything up. And
Yeah.
I just think to me it's officiating errors are one thing, and you expect them. a missed call in regards to safe route. Well, that's what the replay is for. In the NFL, pass interference. Sometimes you miss it. Sometimes you get it right on the head. What I don't understand is sometimes how it seems like officials don't know the rules.
Yeah.
That is where my big problem comes in, because I think that is completely unacceptable.
Especially in the playoffs, these umpires are supposed to be experienced. They're supposed to have done games like this before. They should know every scenario possible.
I mean, you look at that. There's now 2 scenarios where referees have completely dropped the ball. The Monday Night Football game between the Detroit Lions and the Seattle Seahawks. A game where the Lions would have got the ball on the half-inch yard line if the referee, who is shown on every replay staring directly at KJ Wright as he bats the ball out the end zone, the Lions had a chance to steal a win and get their would have been their first and only victory of the season. They now they're 0-5, and the Seahawks are now 2-3, which is a little bit more reasonable than being 1-4 for the team that's represented the NFC back-to-back seasons. And then you look at this, and the officials, they don't somehow know what an illegal slide is. And if he's saying that, in my opinion, it wasn't an illegal slide, come out and step up and say, listen, in my opinion, that's not an illegal slide. Because if it's a judgment call, it's a judgment call. But if it's not, then there needs to be a correction there.
Yeah.
Someone has to own up to this. And I think MLB making a statement saying, hey, look, we messed up. Or when the NFL, Monday night and announcers or the referee specialist who they have with them says, oh, that call couldn't be any more incorrect. That's not enough. These things should not happen at all.
Because what are they supposed to say to the Mets if they end up losing this series? I'm sorry, we got the call wrong. Yeah, it cost me the game. And this is the last problem I have with this whole slide. Me and you spoke about this. I was explaining this rule to you. It's called the neighborhood rule, and I looked into it more, and it makes sense.
It's a disgrace of a rule.
I know.
Unless you can re-explain it.
Well, yeah, I looked into it a little more, and it makes sense a little bit. The fact that the neighborhood rule is for everyone, all of you guys. It's when somebody is turning a double play, it creates more time. It's a quicker way to get out of the way of a slider. So let's say he goes to kick the base, he kicks the base, or he just misses the base by not by much, like a
small
hair
margin.
Yeah, that it creates room that you still call him out just because he's trying to get out of the way of a slider coming in. And this is not missing the base by a step or two. This is barely missing the base, and it just creates a quicker way to get out of the way. And they have constantly said the neighborhood rule is not reviewable, and I just don't know why this Tejada play was reviewed and called safe.
I mean, in all honesty, I don't think that should be a rule at all, because you have to hold the runner accountable for touching the base.
Which is another thing. Chase Utley never touched the base.
No, but what I'm talking about in regards to outside of that, because the neighborhood rule obviously applies to things outside of this. But runners are held accountable, and defenders. I mean, the defense of a team, the fielders need to be held accountable as well.
Yeah, and it is a questionable rule. I could see why they do it. They want to protect the.
But similar to the Des Bryant catch, a rule is a rule.
Yeah.
So if it's the rule, but that's how are 2 rules? How do the officials just not know that? I think that's completely unacceptable.
It's ridiculous.
It's unacceptable.
And I don't know why Terry Collins didn't come back out and say, "Look, Chase Utley never touched the base. Like, why can't I touch the base and call him out?"
You know what? The worst part is, like, why does Terry Collins need to step out and say, "Hey, listen, watch the replay again"? There's no, in my opinion, there's no other way to put it other than a disgrace, because the officials they just don't know the rules. I mean, literally, I could go out there. And I, if I get the call wrong, well, you say, well, he doesn't know the rules. Well, guess what? Neither did the guys who get paid to do this and have been doing this for years, evidently.
I don't get it. These guys have been out there for so long. They constantly getting calls wrong. It's not.
This isn't the replacement refs.
This is not the first time they're getting a call wrong. It's something needs to change. These calls cannot be. They can't be this wrong. And something has got to change. And we saw another play call. It was just a ground ball to first. The second baseman Grandison happened to beat out, and he was safe by more than a step, and he called him safe. And it was it was sad they need to stop the game, go review it. He was safe. Clearly, he was safe.
Right.
You need to get the call right. That's the bottom line. It's crazy how much this one play can change the whole series and has potential to have such an impact.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, you never know how the rest of the game would have, how it would have went. But again, my big problem is just that, if they don't know the rules, and I really feel like this. Some people might view this as harsh. They should be fired, or at the minimum, they shouldn't be allowed to ever do a postseason game again.
Yeah, I agree, because this can't be acceptable. That's plain and simple.
Yeah,
and no, I'm sure there'll be more blown calls, but we'll see. All right, that's all the time we have today. David Giacomino, Kevin Walsh. This has been Final Whistle. Have a good one.